Wasting no time for Game 2 in Bluefield. Rams confidently winning that one 2-1 back in Game 1 behind a huge pitching performance from Edgar Reyes in his first start on the year. Pitched a complete game and only allowed one run going all the way back to the first inning. Johnson University will have to battle with Trey Brooks, who's on the mound for the Rams, and their lineup looks like this. Viscardis will play at third base and bat first. Riley Cooper batting second and playing at short. Chase White, the Bluefield transfer, batting third and playing in center field, while Chase Burke will once again bat in the cleanup spot and catch. Batting fifth, Caleb Lee, the second baseman, while getting the start at right field in this game. That'll be number 23, Jonathan Howard, who pitched in Game 1. Batting seventh and playing in left field, Dalton Pruitt, while getting a start in this game, Trip Carver, the DH, and the first baseman in Game 2 of this doubleheader will go to number 22, Luke Shepard, who will play in the 9-hole. Batting first, it will be Viscardis. Viscardis had a couple of hits in Game 1, and Chandler Viscardis ended up 2 for 3 with a run scored, the only run scored of the entire game for the Johnson University Royals. Here's the pitch, as that one is tapped foul on the left side for strike number 1. Rams have Espinal once again at third. At shortstop, Bailey Castro. Over at second base, Jose Perez. And at first, closing out the infield, will be Oscar Torres. The 0-1 from Brooks. And Viscardis watches the pitch hit the outside corner for strike 2. Out in left, Josh McGee. In center, it will be Ackerman again. And in right field, Nick Meadows, the 0-2. Swinging a bouncing ball over to third. Caught on a hop by Espinal. Hard throw to first. Caught there. Route number 1. It's already one out. Trey Brooks getting the start for Bluefield. Rams going with their bullpen pitchers. Edgar Reyes, a guy that usually is a middle relief pitcher, but now is 2-1 on the year. And for Trey Brooks, a 10.38 ERA, 0-1 on the season, and making his first start and 5th appearance. Now stepping up to the plate, Riley Cooper. Riley spelled R-I-E-L-Y. Kick and the pitch. Swinging a bat or a ball cued off the end of the bat for strike 1 on a foul ball. So not exactly spelled the same as the former Eagles wide receiver. The 0-1. Swung on, popped up right behind home plate. Jackson racing back, and it will go in towards the stands for strike 2. Cooper, a wide receiver from Florida, made some unfortunate headlines at a concert when he was a member of the Eagles a few years ago. I'm sure some of our listeners remember that. Back to the diamond, though. No balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Riley Cooper went 0 for 2 in Game 1. Brooks kicks and delivers. Fastball just a bit outside, and Jackson was ready to throw it around. Already 1 out, nobody on base. Top of the first inning. Trey Brooks taking his time. Pitches. Just a bit inside, dropped by Jackson. Count goes to 2-2. In Game 1, we did not have a batter that got into a full count. That game went an hour and 10 minutes. We got this one started relatively early, just about 25 minutes after the end of Game 1. 2-2. In the dirt, and it will go outside for ball 3. So this is the first time today that any batter has been in a full count. Trey Brooks trying not to give up a walk. Payoff. In the dirt, skips away from Jackson, and it's ball 4. So Cooper on with a walk, and that'll bring up Chase White. So Chase White did a solid job, a speedy center fielder, 2 for 3, and a former Bluefield College Ram. Hit on a play that ended up bringing the only run of the day in for the Royals. He singled into right field. Meadows tried to throw to first to get him out. Torres was taken off by that relay in from Meadows, and it went off of his glove to bring in Viscardis. Runner at first and 1 out Espinal playing even with the bag as White swings and fouls it off right into the glove of Jordan Jackson. Beautiful day for baseball. Low 60s, high 50 degrees, a little bit of wind. Looking more like spring in the two Virginias. Brooks looking over his shoulder at the runner at first. Runner shuffles off and a swing and a miss at a high fastball from Trey Brooks. Brooks, a 6'2", 240-pound right-handed pitcher from Waco, Texas. Went to Cedar Valley Community College. The 0-2. Swinging a foul tip, almost gloved by Jackson. He's a little upset as that one went back to the backstop. Chase Burke on deck for Johnson University. Big lead over at first base by Riley Cooper. Brooks from the belt pitches. Skips in the dirt again, and Jordan Jackson keeps in front. So Brooks moves a little bit slower than we saw out of Edgar Reyes. That probably shocked Mike White. And Reyes, a guy coming in with a low ERA into that game, but had not made a start on the year. And Coach White was able to rely on the righty going all the way into the 7th inning. Now the 1-2. Swinging a liner towards the middle of the field, and Castro couldn't find it as it leaks into center. So a base hit. And now Cooper moves to second base. White on with a single, and that will bring up the catcher, Chase Burke. So Johnson University coming into this one at a 10-22 record. Bluefield at 18-12 now, and 8-1 at Bowen Field. So just one loss on the season. That was to the Milligan College Buffaloes just a few weeks ago. Righty to righty matchup as Brooks takes a long look and pitches. Blooper out to left field, through for Bailey Castro. Staying at third will be Cooper, and the bases are loaded for the first time today. So Chase Burke with a bloop single into left field, and that'll bring up the 5-hitter in Caleb Lee. So Lee, the second baseman, trying to bring in some runs. 0-0 the score, bases loaded. And now a courtesy runner stepping in. It'll be Dustin Godwin on for Chase Burke. So Burke with that big frame will go back into the dugout for Johnson University, and Caleb Lee steps up to the plate. Lee went 0 for 3 with a strikeout, one of 3 strikeouts of the Game 1 win for Edgar Reyes. So Cooper at third as the first pitch goes outside to Lee. White at second, and now Godwin over at first base, or Goodwin. 1-0 the count, 1 out. Rams looking to try to turn a double play to get them out of this. 1-0. Skips in the dirt. Jackson lets it roll behind him, but the ball dies in that grass. So Cooper will stay at third base. Already 2 hits in this inning. Singles from Chase White and Chase Burke. Now for Caleb Lee, a chance to give Johnson University just their second run on the day, and possibly more. 2-0. Tapper towards short. Caught and then bobbled by Espinal. It goes into left field. Cooper will score, as will Chase White. And now there are 2 runs on the board for Johnson University. So Espinal looked like he had it in the sky, and that ball was just, unfortunately, perfectly placed right between Espinal as well as Bailey Castro. It was just chopped into the ground so hard where Espinal and Castro had to decide who got it, and Espinal kind of olayed it there at the last second. So Johnson University leads 2-0. And there's an error on the board. Brings Lee to first base as that pitch goes just bit off of the plate for Jonathan Howard. Steps up to the plate after being the pitcher in the first game, got the loss. A little timeout call. Jackson going up to the mound to talk this one over with his right-hander. Howard on the year. Usually a pitcher, big, tall frame, and now getting the start in this one as the right fielder. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 1-1. Howard hitting well at .325. He has a homer and 21 RBIs. The 1-1. Outside, scraping of the dirt. Jackson throws to second, and it'll skip into the glove of Perez. Not on target. Able to get back to the bag is Chase Burke. So Cooper and Chase White come in to score. It's a 2-0 lead for the Royals. Lee reaching on an error. And Howard up in a 2-1 count. Now the pitch. Down the middle, strike 2. So Trey Brooks with a over 10 ERA trying to get out of this first inning. Second straight game where the Royals have put on a run in the first inning of the game. And just one out with 2 runners on. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 and the first strikeout for Trey Brooks. Now 2 gone. Burke and Lee stay on their respective bases of second and first. And that'll bring up the 7-hitter. Here's Dalton Pruitt. Pruitt grounded out to second to end game 1. First pitch. And the sophomore Danville, Virginia native will go outside. And the count 1-0. Like we mentioned in game 1, Pruitt, a former Bluefield College Ram. 1-0. Grounder on the left side. Speared by Castro. Goes in the grass, and everybody's safe. Bases loaded. So once again, a ball hit deep in the hole over at short. Castro, even if he were to have fielded that cleanly, it would have been tough for him to get that ball over to first base. So now the base is loaded. Burke at third, Lee at second. And that'll bring up Carver. Trip Carver, spelled with 2 P's. Up in the box on the right side, takes a fastball outside and low, ball 1. Carver hitting .289. He has a homer and 4 RBIs. 2-0. Johnson up on top just in the first inning. 1-0. Outside and low. 2 balls and no strikes. Bluefield will be going up against Max McCoy starting out in the bottom of the first inning. They have to get there. 2-0. Outside, scraping in the dirt. Jackson tossed away that hockey-style catcher's mask, and will just give it right back to his pitcher. 3-0 the count. And for Trip Carver, a chance to open up the floodgates. The DH from Knoxville. 3-0. Inside, gets past Jackson, but a run will score anyway on the walk, and Burke trots in to make it 3-0. So not a picturesque start for Bluefield and Trey Brooks in the start of game 2 of this doubleheader. So everybody moves on. Lee to third, Pruitt to second, and Carver at first with the inning's second walk. Now to bring up Shepard. Pitch. Well, Shepard got the start in game 1 at first base. Batting left-handed with the bases loaded. 2-0. Another fastball that rises just a bit above those Johnson letters. Johnson University going with the gray pants and the navy blue jerseys with the white letters and the red trim. 3-0. Fastball that notches in on the outside corner. Count at 3-1. Count actually at 2-1. Pitch. Inside, and there's ball 3. Count at 3-1 with 2 outs. Shepard back in game 1. Actually batted in the 8 hole and went 0 for 2. Edgar Reyes just went through that lineup as fast as he could. 3-1. Line drive into left field. McGee chasing towards the line and gallops into the catch for out number 3. So the base is left loaded, and the score now 3-0. Rocky start for Trey Brooks, but Bluefield trying to get the bats going when we head to the bottom of the first. Bailey Castro will lead it off for Bluefield against Max McCoy, the pitcher on the mound, with comparable hair flow to what we saw from Jonathan Howard in Game 1. One of those locks flowing out of the back, and Bailey Castro will try to get on base as he struggled in Game 1. Leadoff man for Bluefield went 0 for 3, but now the shortstop steps up to the plate and is ready to go from the right side. Now the lefty pitches. Big swing and a miss on a fastball high. So it'll be Castro, Perez, and Josh McGee all starting out in this lineup in the bottom of the first inning. Rams down 3-0. Castro tries to send another high fastball on a ride and whiffs. So quickly down 0-2. Well, McCoy going into a start, once again, a guy that plays as a position player as well. 0-2. Another fastball that's high. McCoy gets 6.23 ERA, 2-1 on the year. Making his first start. The 1-2. Fastball high and outside. Count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kind of rare that we saw Bailey Castro struggle, a guy that has been a perennial man in that leadoff position. 2-2. He swings and drills it into right center field. A base hit for Castro, rolling all the way out to White in center field, and Bluefield has a man on. So Castro able to be the opening runner for the Rams, going a tad bit opposite field on the inside-out hit. And now that'll bring up Jose Perez, who ended up being the game-winning run for the Rams in Game 1. Jordan Jackson knocked him in on a single into left field. So a lefty-to-lefty matchup. McCoy pitches. The fastball goes right down the middle. Kind of odd seeing it from the third base side. McCoy, especially working from the set, almost has his knees bent, pointing at each other. The 0-1. Perez watches high and in. Well, the second baseman from Puerto Rico went into the weekend leading the NAIA in hits per game. Just had one in Game 1, which was a 7-inning contest, just like this one. It's 3-0 Royals over the Rams. 1-1. Fastball high and outside. Count at 2-1. Perez talked about playing in Puerto Rico growing up. A lot of big names, a lot of talent, and a lot of great competition. As he watches the 2-1 go outside. Count at 3-1. McCoy looking through that beige glove. Comes set. Castro with a small lead at first base. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2, a full count. It's now the first time that a Bluefield College Ram has gotten into a full count today as well. Howard really mowed through the Bluefield staff as well. Oh, pickoff move to first. Those knees bent in towards each other. McCoy, it makes it almost awkward to throw it over at first base. Kind of close to a balk there. Payoff. Popped up left side, chasing his Vizcarras towards the bullpen, and the ball will sneak out of here. Count still full, a runner at first base. Royals enjoying a 3-0 lead into the bottom of the first inning. Bailey Engel here. Glad to have you with us on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Going to have a doubleheader of 2 sports on Friday. Tell you about that after this. As that pitch is swung on, popped up left side. Burke trying to find it in the air, throws away the mask and makes the catch. Castro leaks off of first base, but he'll go back. And there's one out in the bottom of the first. So we'll have Game 1 of the Bluefield College Rams softball game on Friday. And then after that, that'll give us a chance to go from Graham Rec Park to Bowen Field, and we'll be able to have Game 1 of that series against Montreat, where the Rams take on the Cavaliers here on Friday night as well. So now coming up to the plate, Josh McGee looking for his first hit of the day. Bailey Castro on at first base. Pitch. Swinging a line drive into right field, and that'll drop for a base hit. Bobbling through Howard, and that might score a run. Castro going through third, racing home. Relay skipping into the second baseman in Lee, and now a run scores. So it'll be a hit for McGee. Castro comes in to score off of the error on Jonathan Howard out in right field, and now it's 3-1. Well, that was almost reminiscent of the Little League home run, a Little League grand slam at that Jose Perez had against St. Andrews just a few weeks ago on a ground ball hit out to right field. It got through the right fielder, and Perez able to knock in all the runners with the bases loaded and came in to score as well. So here comes Marcus Espinal stepping up in the lineup as the first pitch drops low. Espinal, the third baseman, usually batting in the 9 hole, but now doing that will be Bradley Martin, the DH. So going out with the rest of the lineup, Espinal playing at third base, Jackson, the catcher, batting 5th, Ackerman, the center fielder, in the 6th hole, and batting 7th, Oscar Torres. Espinal swung on and spraying it foul, bouncing on top of the batting hallway, and evens the count at 1-1. Espinal went 0 for 2, grounded out to Riley Cooper, and flew out to right field in the last game. Runner at third, and Josh McGee. Pitch. Lefty. Fires a fastball inside. Count at 2-1 with 1 out. Boy, that sun's starting to bake me and my cameraman Stevie Collier here in our greenhouse of a press box. 2-1. Espinal swings and drives into center field. A base hit. McGee will easily score, and it's an RBI single for Espinal. Now the Rams have made it 3-2, and there's just 1 out on the board. Now stepping up to the plate, the hero, Jordan Jackson from Game 1. Well, really the hero was Edgar Reyes with that great pitching matchup, but Jackson able to bring in the go-ahead run on a single. That was in the bottom of the 6th inning. McCoy, the changeup going right across the letters. It's strike 1. Lefty to righty matchup. Jackson actually had a pair of hits in that game. Actually didn't score because Caleb Wood came in as the courtesy runner. Now the 0-1. Jackson with a check swing. Fastball flares outside, and it is ball 1. Count evens at 1-1. So McGee and Bailey Castro have came in to score. 1-1. Swung on, popped up right field. Howard finding it in the blue sky. Walks to the left and makes the catch. Espinal retreats back to first base. So for Jackson, now he is 0 for 1, and there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 1st inning. Stepping up to the plate now, Jordan Ackerman. He had a pair of base hits in the last game, a single and a double, as well as an RBI for Bluefield. Lefty to lefty, runner at first, and Espinal flirting with running. The pitch goes outside. Espinal was galloping off the bag at first base and was turning his body as if he was about to steal second. Count at 1-0 on Ackerman. Got a brand new white bat. Pitch. Swung on, driven deep into left field, chasing it towards the line, and that will go out of play in foul territory. So Pruitt almost was able to track that one down. But instead it bounces in foul territory. So it goes Pruitt, White, and then Jonathan Howard in right field for Johnson University in the outfield. Descartes is playing at third base, Riley Cooper at short. Over at second, once again, Caleb Lee, and the first baseman in this one, Luke Shepard. Battery Chase Burke with Max McCoy. 1-1. Swung on, foul back. Now the count is at 1-2 for Ackerman with a runner at first base. Ackerman cranking that dirt off of his shoes. Rams down by 1 run. All in 2 strikes. Lead at first for Espinal. McCoy deals. Swung on, bounced over short side by Cooper. He lost second, and the inning is over. Rams able to score 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 error. Leave one man on base. 3-2 Johnson University headed to the second inning at Bowen Field. Now to the second inning, Trey Brooks has to deal out with Luke Shepard. As Shepard swings and bounces it over towards third. Espinal charges, quick throw to first, and he is out. So that'll go right back to the top of the lineup with Chandler Vizcartis. Vizcartis grounded out to Espinal to start off the game. 3-run scoring in the first inning. Rams had an error, and then Bluefield able to put 2 more on the board with 3 hits of their own, with an error by Jonathan Howard, the right fielder. First pitch to the leadoff man. Or rather, that was Vizcartis who just grounded out, so he has grounded out twice today. And now Cooper steps up, who swings it right back and fouls it away. Count it 1-1. I'll just one out, some clouds flowing overhead, sun peering through. Getting kind of hot. Got the fans rolling in. 3-2 the score in favor of the Royals. On the 1-1. Swung on, popped up foul. Left side, Jackson will lazily jog, and he'll just watch it go out of play. Count rises to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on. Rams with the cream-colored jerseys. I had to pick, that's probably my favorite one they done, as they have blue hats with some of the blue sweat guards on their arms. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch. Must have been outside. It's a count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Trey Brooks looking for what could be his first win on the year, making his first start in game 2. 2-2. Little tapper towards second, and it's caught on a basket-style catch by Jose Perez. That's a high fastball. Cooper just served it out, tipped it, and was hoping that the ball would get up some dirt, but Jose Perez able to make the catch right in front of him, and the shortstop is retired. So now to the 3-hitter and Chase White. 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored. He steps up to the plate on the left-handed side. Now the pitch. Strides into it, doesn't swing. It's ball 1 low. So White in this game has been kind of testy for Bluefield to face off against as the fastball goes high. 2 balls, no strikes. A lot of speed, puts the bat on the ball, and has so far been a good contact hitter for head coach Ben Fair, who's now in his 8th season as the head coach of Johnson U. 2-0 goes outside. 2 outs, a 3-2 score. Rams playing against Montreat this weekend, looking for a way to climb back in the conference. They're just 6-11 in the AAC. A couple of big sweeps on the road. Tennessee Wesleyan as well as Dayton, or rather Bryan in Dayton, Tennessee. 3-0 goes inside, ball 4. Also swept on the road by Point. So a 4-pitch walk puts White on the base paths for the second time in game 2. That'll step up, or that'll bring up Chase Burke. Burke with a single of his own. Also scored a run. 3-2 lead for Johnson University. As that pitch is swung on, grounded near third base, and foul. Count 0-1. Well, this would be a hard act to follow after Edgar Reyes did such a good job in game 1. Bluefield ended up winning 0-1. Sprayed foul right side. Torres can't chase it down as it falls into the grass. And Burke is quickly down 0-2. Quiet day at Bowen Field. Trey Brooks looking in. Bringing the ball around in his right hand. Runner at first. Now the 0-2 pitch. A fastball high. Well, Brooks with an orthodox delivery. Kind of what we saw out of Edgar Reyes. Over the top pitching motion. And now Bluefield already has some arms warming up in the bullpen. See if Mike White goes with his staff in game 2. A 1-2. Fastball outside corner, strike 3, and the side retired. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 3-2 Royals headed to the bottom of the second at Bowen Field. 3-2. Oscar Torres leads it off in the bottom of the second. Rams down by 1 run. Max McCoy, the lefty, steps into the first pitch as Torres swings and bloops it out to shallow right center, and that will drop in for a base hit. It's a good job by Oscar Torres finding his way on the base paths for the first time in this doubleheader. That will bring up Nick Meadows, the right fielder. For the 7, 8, 9 part of the lineup, Meadows the 8. And coming up to the plate up next, Bradley Martin, the DH, a guy that's played some JV ball for Bluefield. Big open stance for Nick Meadows on the right side of the plate. Pitch. Outside and low. Meadows watches it go for ball 1. Rams scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Meadows trying to send it out to left field and whips on a high fastball. Count is at 1-1. Both teams with few hits in this one. Rams actually have 4 after Oscar Torres got on. No hits for the Royals in the top of the second. Trey Brooks got some help from his field. Nick Meadows swung on, popped up, left side, going in foul territory. And Pruitt can't find it as it goes out of play. So Meadows now battling in a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Meadows, the only freshman position player for Bluefield. Josh McGee noted in his interview with WVVA a few days ago that a big part of the reason why he loves to play at Bluefield is that he can try to mentor some of these young guys. But Meadows whiffs on that last pitch and goes down on strikes. So Torres stays by at first base with 1 out, and that will bring up Bradley Martin. So for Martin, this could be a big chance to impress Mike White here in his first varsity at-bat. A runner at first base, and Torres with that bloop single. The pitch, swing and a miss on a slider in the dirt. So McCoy so far has given up 4 hits on the day. Has 1 error leaking behind in right field as Jonathan Howard let that ball roll through him on a hit by McGee. 0-1. Line outside, ended up being a Little League triple for Josh McGee. Just 1 out, Rams down by 1 run. Lefty to righty. Pitch to the DH. Swung on and fouled away right side. Oh, quickly down 1-2. Martin, the freshman from Culpeper, Virginia, went to Culpeper County High School. As an infielder for Bluefield. Now the 1-2. Outside corner, rung him up, strike 3. So in his first appearance for the Rams, doesn't swing the bat on that 2-strike pitch, and now there are 2 outs going to the top of the lineup with Bailey Castro. Castro 1 for 1, he scored a run. Driven in after the error on that ball hit by Josh McGee. As Torres at first and Bluefield down by 1. Number 10 on the mound with those knees bent in towards each other. Pitch. And Castro with a hard drive into center field. White under it and makes the catch. An easy one at that for out number 3 in the second inning. Going into the third now. Still 3-2. Royals on top of Bluefield at Bowen Field. Now to the third inning as the first pitch from Caleb Lee is popped up in the air on the first base side. Torres finds it and makes the catch with his feet just in fair territory. So Caleb Lee now goes to 0 for 2. Rams down by 1. Trey Brooks now starting to get into the groove as some of these balls have been put in play and these fielders can make some plays. That'll bring up Jonathan Howard, 0 for 1 with a strikeout, one of 2 strikeouts on the day for Trey Brooks. Howard had a great game on the mound as the pitcher for Johnson University in Game 1, as the 6'5" outfielder takes a fastball high and away. Still, Bluefield powered through and got that base hit from Jordan Jackson, the 1-0. Swung on, popped up left side, going in foul territory, escaping Espinal, and that one will drop right between Castro and Espinal. And boy, the chemistry between Espinal and Bailey Castro has just not been there today. And that ball just hung up in the air for ages, and they should have found a way to catch it. And that's got to drive Mike White crazy. I was going back on a play hit into by Caleb Lee where Espinal and Bailey Castro couldn't find out who was going to take it, and Espinal let it tip up off of him. Count is at 1-1. The pitch, fastball just a bit outside. The count now rises to 2 balls and 1 strike. Dalton Pruitt up next for Johnson University, looking for what possibly could be their 11th win on the season. 2-1. Fastball, there it is, notching on the outside corner that time, and an even count at 2-2. Just in the third inning. Game 1 took an hour and 10 minutes. We're already on for longer than that. 2-2. That one swung on, nubbed over to towards third, and Espinal just fields it in foul territory. And moves so fast because batters weren't letting the counts get high. They were swinging at everything Howard and Reyes were throwing on either side. Another 2-2. Swing and a miss. And rather, it fouls off. So I thought that Jordan Jackson had it, went right behind him. So instead of Howard being 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts, he'll get another chance here with the 2-2 count and 1 out. Nobody on for the Royals. Brooks steps and pitches. Outside and just missing. Boy, that was close again. Still heating up, sun setting on the first base side. Payoff. Outside and low, and Howard works his way into a base on balls. Well, a couple of questionable ones Howard laid off of there, but comes up with the payoff, and he goes to first base. I'll bring up Dalton Pruitt, who is 1 for 1 with a single. The Bluefield transfer faces off against Trey Brooks. Brooks from the belt slings in. Once again, a fastball missing outside. It's a little bit hard to position those calls from the third base side, but they look like they're pretty close. 1 ball and no strikes with 1 out. Brooks over the top, pitches. A fastball high. Thomas Huddleston, the pitching coach in his first year for Bluefield College, likely to come out and visit if this doesn't work out here for Jackson. 2-0. Swing and a miss, and that was up near the left fielder's chin. Strike 1. Yeah, Brooks can work back into the zone here. His team down 3-2. Rams winning game 1, 2-1, looking for the doubleheader sweep. 2-1. In the dirt, and Jackson has to stare down Howard to go back to first base. Have to see what Trey Brooks can do. Big lead for Howard at first. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Full count. Get some action going from the Bluefield dugout. Now nobody throwing in the bullpen for Bluefield. Full count. 1 out. Runner at first. Pitch. Swinging a grounder towards short. Scooped and bobbled by Castro, and everybody's safe. It was a little too cavalier on that scoop effort, but the shortstop tried to glove it up to throw it possibly to first. Howard had a good enough jump to get to second, so the E6 will put Pruitt on at first. And now there are 2 aboard with 1 out. Here comes Trip Carver. On with a walk his last time. Steps up to the plate. Bending that knee on the left side on the right-handed batter. The pitch. Carver strides in, but a fastball misses high. So already another error for Bluefield, their second of the day. And you got to think for Howard, although an error's not put on the board, that foul ball he hit should have been caught. Now that pitch crosses the letter, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 3-2 the score. Johnson University scoring 3 runs in the first inning and then held scoreless in the second. Brooks with a long stare. And time called by Carver. Brooks not necessarily moving at a glacial pace, but still being a little bit more deliberate with runners on base for the Royals. 1-1. Swung on, hit on the ground, over on the right side, and through for a base hit. Throw home, hopping short, and a run scores. So an RBI single for Trip Carver, the DH, who didn't play in Game 1, and now it is 4-2 in favor of the Royals. Those errors right there for Bluefield in the first inning and now in the third. Carver to second, and Luke Shepard steps up to the plate. 0 for 1. He flew out his last time. Pitch. Fastball right across the letter, strike 1. Now we're playing in the shade at Bowen Field. Count 1-0 with 1 out. Pitch. Swing and a foul tip right off the shin guard of Jordan Jackson. Then even counted 1-1. Bluefield hoping that their pitcher can try to get something together here. Inning started off with a pop-up to first base from Caleb Lee. Howard got on with a walk. That was after a foul ball dropped in between Marcus Espinal and Castro. Pruitt on with an E6, and then a single from Carver makes the score 4-2. 1-1. Line drive, bouncing to Perez, sliding play, throw to second there, going for 2, not in time, but a great play by the second baseman, Jose Perez, to steal a base hit there. And then Shepard is on with a fielder's choice. Over to third goes Pruitt, and Carver taken off of the base pass. Now stepping up to the plate, Chandler Vizcartas. Runners on the corners and 2 outs. First pitch. And the third baseman watches the fastball groove right high, but called a strike. Sun hiding behind some clouds on the right side. The 0-1. Vizcartas pokes out towards right. Meadows charging up, dives. He caught it. What a play by the freshman. That robbed some runs there for Johnson University as Nick Meadows able to rob Chandler Vizcartas of a base hit as well. What a run scores after not the best inning for Bluefield. It's 4-2, Royals going into the bottom of the third. Jose Perez leads off the bottom of the third. Apologize for the technical difficulties. Now it's 4-2, 1 out. Marcus Espinal steps up to the plate. Espinal 1 for 1 with the single. The third baseman now batting in the cleanup spot. McCoy deals. Pass ball high and outside. Count it 1-0. Doing the best we can out here, folks. Working off of a hot spot. Internet's been a little bit wonky in the past and usually pretty good at Bowen Field. 1-0. Swung on and fouled straight back, and it will roll off the backstop for the first strike of the at-bat. Just now joining us in the third inning, Rams able to score 2 runs in the first, but the Royals scored 3 in the first, including 1 more in the top of the third inning. Now we're in the bottom of the third. Pitch. Espinal grounds it over towards second, fielded there by Lee. Quick throw to first in time, and McGee is moved over to second. Espinal taken off, and now Jordan Jackson steps up to the plate. See what the catcher can do here for the Rams. Rams starting to put the ball in play. 2 strikeouts at the latter end of the lineup with Nick Meadows and Bradley Martin. Now Jackson stepping up to the plate on the right-handed side, up in the box as McCoy steps off in those orange and black cleats. Pitch. Watched inside. So Jackson flew out to right his last time. Nick Meadows possibly with the best play fielding of the day by anyone as he dove to rob Chandler Vizcarras of a base hit back in the third. That was with runners on the corner, so if that falls through, it could be a huge base hit. 1-0. Skips in the dirt. Burke pump fakes and just gives it right back to his pitcher. He goes back to second. Got on there with a fielder's choice. Jose Perez was able to get on with the single, and then McGee grounded over to third. Tried to turn a 5-4-3 double play, and Johnson couldn't do it. McCoy looking in his glove, 2-0. Swung on and fouled right back over the catcher. There's strike 1, 2 balls and 1 strike. 4-2, Rams down by 2. Balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bending the knees from McCoy. Looking in, pitches. In the dirt, rolls in front of Burke, and McGee won't go to third base. So a 3-1 count with 2 outs. With a home run, Jordan Jackson could possibly tie up the game, but we haven't seen any long balls from either side today, and quite frankly, nobody's really gotten close. McCoy, the senior from Knoxville, Tennessee, playing in his home city with a 3-1 count. Pitches. Swung on, popped up, shallow right. Howard finding it in the sky, settles down, and he'll squeeze for out number 3. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 4-2, Johnson going to the 5th or 4th inning here at Bowen Field on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Going into the fourth inning, Trey Brooks still on the mound as Bluefield trails 4-2. He groups a pitch outside to the 2-3-4. It's Riley Cooper, who is 0 for 1. He lined out to Jose Perez his last time up, reached on a walk and scored in the first inning. Royals scored 3 runs in the top of the first and then 1 more in the third inning as Brooks deals. Pitch bounced foul on the third base side to even the count at 1-1. Rams have 2 errors, and they were crucial ones. One by Marcus Espinal in the first, and then another by Bailey Castro in the third inning. Both allowed some of those runs to score. 1-1. Riley Cooper grounds it over to Castro, easily fielded, and the shortstop able to line it over to first base for the first out. That'll bring up Chase White. And we talked about it in the last few innings. If Bailey Castro and Marcus Espinal can develop some sort of chemistry on the left side of the infield, it'll be a lot easier for Bluefield to find some wins. Because when the balls are hit between Espinal and Castro, it seems like there isn't enough communication to decide who's going to get it. First pitch to White. He finds a fastball low, and it is now ball 1. Trey Brooks, in just his first start of the year, usually comes off of the bullpen for Mike White. 1-0. Swung on, grounded through the middle, and in for a base hit. White rounds hard at first, and will go right back. So there's his second hit of game 2. So he's now 2 for 2 with a walk, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout looking. You would usually see at the beginning of the year when you have these midweek games, non-conference, where Mike White would test out his freshmen, like Jackson Keene as well as Alex Perkins. But both of those guys have molded into weekend starters for the Rams. Jackson Keene as well as Perkins showing very well here. Swing and a miss, throw to second, skipping low, rolling into center field, past Castro, going to third. White, throw there, and now White is in, sliding after the stolen base, and the error puts a runner on the corner with a 4-2 lead for Johnson. Not a great throw from Jordan Jackson, but it hopped through Jose Perez. And that'll be the third error for Bluefield. So Burke, the catcher, infield in for the Rams, the 0-1. Fastball on the outside, and it's strike 2. So he's down 0-2 after he swung through the first pitch. Over at third, Chase White. Ground ball. They're going to try to go home. 0-2. Swung on and fouled back. Burke, a big guy, swinging with no batting gloves. He's got the tape on his wrists. Trying to get it through the infield to bring in another run. It's already a 2-run lead for the Royals. Brooks, 0-2. Fastball just high, ball 1. Have some fans make their way into the orange seats. And it's tough to draw some crowds in a midweek game. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch. Skips in the dirt. Jackson can't find it, but luckily he batted it down on the backhand, unknowingly down the third baseline. So Jackson able to swipe it there. Count is at 2-2. Brooks walking all the way back up to the rubber. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at third. Just in the fourth inning, a 2-run lead for Johnson. Infield still in for Bluefield. 2-2. Burke watches it on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Second time where Burke goes down looking, and he walks into the dugout throwing some obscenities. Does so quietly so the umpire won't hear. Now there are 2 outs. Bluefield's infield walks back, and here's the first pitch to Caleb Lee. He fouled it back, strike 1. So a clutch strikeout there from Trey Brooks. Already his third on the day. He's victimized Burke twice, and he had Jonathan Howard back in the first inning. If he struck out Ryan Howard, that'd be pretty incredible here at the NAIA level. Now the 0-1. Swung on, line drive, over to Espinal. Snags it on the ground, spins to first. Throw there, out. That was close. Wow, Caleb Lee thought he had it. Tag laid down by Oscar Torres, but still no run score there. So no runs on a 1 hit, 1 error, and a man left at third base. 4-2 the score. Rams going into the bottom of the fourth, down by 2. Jordan Ackerman leading off for the Rams, down 4-2 in the bottom of the fourth. Max McCoy still on the mound. First pitch is a fastball swung on and driven through the hole into center field. A base hit for Ackerman. His first base hit of game 2. Ackerman wasting no time. Speedy runner on the base paths, and that will send Oscar Torres to the plate. That was a controversial end to the top of the fourth inning. Caleb Lee grounded out to third base. It was a rough throw from Marcus Espinal, and it looked like Torres jumped up and laid the tag down on Lee as Torres swings and pops it up right behind home plate. There's strike 1. And Bluefield walked off of the field going into the dugout. Actually had to look for the second opinion to the home plate umpire from the field umpire, and they still called him out. Caleb Lee stayed at first for the end of the decision. 0-1 flies high and outside to the righty. The count is 1-1. Ackerman leading off at first. Could be a guy that steals. Pitch. Hit him. So Torres plunked on the 1-1 pitch, and Bluefield has 2 runners aboard. Ackerman to second, and Torres moves to first. So this is the first time that Bluefield has put their first 2 men on of the entire game 2. That'll send up Nick Meadows. Now it looks like maybe a change could be in the works. Max McCoy jiggling the ball around in his left hand, and it looks like Ben Fair takes a long walk up to the mound. We'll have to see if he makes a change here. 4-2 the score. Rams have 6 hits on the ball game. That actually ties with Johnson University. But really hankering Bluefield down is those 3 errors. One by Jackson on a throwing error, and then a few on the left side of the infield from Espinal as well as Bailey Castro. So Ackerman talking this one over with his head coach Mike White, who is speaking with Nick Meadows. 2 men on for Bluefield and no outs. 4-2 the score. The possible tying run at first base. So no pitching change. That will send up Nick Meadows. Already has a great catch. Diving forward to make a huge rob of Chandler Vizcarras to end the top of the third. Let's see if he can do it offensively. Pitch. Meadows shows bunt, lays it down, bouncing to McCoy, spins to first. Nobody's there. Bases loaded. It looked like Lee tried to go to second base where he had to pick it up at first, while Shepard, the first baseman, was trying to charge in. So everybody's aboard. A base hit for Meadows. And Torres moves to second. Ackerman at third. Base is loaded. no outs, and that'll send up Jesus Roldan. Roldan pinch hitting in the place of Bradley Martin, the DH. So we'll likely see Roldan for the rest of the game. Roldan, a pitcher as well as a position player. 125 average on the year. 8 at-bats as he swings and hits it on the ground over to third. Whipping home is Vizcartis, and everybody goes station to station with 1 out. So good thing that Johnson University was playing with the infield in. And it looks like they're going to call it a foul ball. It was such a soft roller off of Roldan's foot, and it had such velocity that it looked like a regular ground ball, and Vizcartis threw it over to first. So they're going to call it a dead ball, and Jesus Roldan will get another swing here. So no outs. 4-2 the score. Rams with a chance to possibly tie it up or take the lead. Infield in, and Jesus Roldan in an 0-1 count. McCoy looking around. Bases loaded. The pitch. Outside corner, strike 2. So no outs. Roldan down in an 0-2 count. Big spot here for the guy coming from the Bronx, New York. McCoy deals. Swinging another tapper that bounces towards the Johnson dugout. No balls, 2 strikes. Infield still in. First jam of the ball game for Johnson University. Just playing in a 7-inning contest of game 2. Roldan trying to open it up. Pitch. Fastball that flies high. It's ball 1. So Ackerman on with a single. Oscar Torres on at second base after being hit by a pitch. And Nick Meadows with that bunt. Fielded by McCoy, and nobody was there to cover first base. The lefty looking around. 1-2. Swing and a miss, and a pitch in the dirt. Base is occupied, so they won't even have to throw it to first. Now there's 1 out. Third strikeout for Max McCoy. Back to the top of the lineup with Bailey Castro. You have to see if the shortstop can do some damage here. Rams with 7 hits. Looking around, the pitch. Castro watches it go inside, ball 1. Have seen some grand slams this year. Josh McGee, one of them, and Austin Browning with the other. Castro only with 1 home run on the season. That was against Ohio Christian. Right here at Bowen Field. The 1-0. Swung on and popped up. Shallow left field. Converging on it, Pruitt and White as Pruitt makes the catch. Ackerman flirts with tagging, but the ball is relayed in. And now there are 2 outs. So the Rams just 1 out away from missing a huge opportunity here, but here comes possibly their best hitter, Jose Perez. Statistically, there's really no doubt that Jose Perez has been the man for Bluefield offensively, but you have to see what he can do with the bases loaded. One time he had the bases loaded against SAU. Had a Little League grand slam, but Bluefield will take anything as the infield walks back. Pitch. Perez watches it skip in the dirt, holds up a hand as Chase Burke just powers that ball right back in towards the dirt behind home plate. Count at 1-0. Ackerman led off with a single, Torres plunked, and Meadows with a bunt. Rams had bases loaded and no outs, and now 2 straight outs. 4-2 the score. 1-0. Perez with a line drive into right field, base hit. Ackerman will score. Here comes Torres to tie. He'll get there. Throw home. Meadows going, and he is beat by about 6 steps. So he went straight through the sign from Mike White, but the score is tied. Jose Perez with a 2 RBI single. It's 4-4 going into the 5th inning. Not sure why Nick Meadows went there, but still the Rams able to tie it up as we head to the 5th inning at Bowen Field. back at Bowen Field. 4-4 the score into the fifth inning, and a new pitcher in for Bluefield. Peyton Tennant, the lefty, trying to deal it in to Howard as he watches a fastball go on the outside corner for strike one. Final line for Trey Brooks. 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 runs, none of them earned, as the 0-1 skips in the dirt for ball one. Did have 3 walks and also 3 strikeouts. Now in Peyton Tennant, the lefty, against the righty and Jonathan Howard. 6, 7, 8. Now in the dirt. Count at 2-1. Now all tied up. Brooks won't be in the hole for the loss anymore after the RBI single, 2 RBI single, I should say, from Jose Perez brought in the tying runs. 2-1. Howard watches the fastball go low. Now 3 balls, 1 strike. Tennant with an 11.17 ERA. 2-0 on the year, though. The 19 1/3 innings pitch. 3-1. And the tall right fielder grounds it over to Perez. Gobbles it up, throw to first in time. So 1 gone in the 5th inning. Rams with a bit of life now, going for the sweep after winning game 1 2-1. For Tennant, like we said, 19 1/3 innings pitched, 29 hits, 28 runs, 24 of them earned, 16 walks and 17 strikeouts. Going to bring up Dalton Pruitt. First pitch, and the righty left fielder watches the ball go inside. Ball and no strikes with 1 out. Kick and the pitch. Skips around, Jordan Jackson shin guard, and it will roll away. Well, Jackson calling time to make sure that the signs are clarified with this young pitcher. Rams going to be back here on Friday at 6 o'clock, and so will we on the Rams Digital Sports Network as Bluefield goes on a crucial AAC series against the Montreat Cavaliers. Rams into this game are 18-12, 8-1 at home at Bowen Field. They handed Johnson University their 22nd loss on the year as they fall to 10-22. 2-0. Brewer watches a fastball high, and he's up in the count. 3 balls, no strikes. Thanks for all tuning in on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Got a fun one so far. Pitch. High, and it's ball 4, and Pruitt flipped that bat a ton going to first base. With the sun setting near the first base side, that'll bring up Trip Carver. DH has an RBI single. Espinal playing up on the third base end. Carver the DH and a right-handed batter. Tennant checking the runner at first. Long kick in the delivery. Strides in, but a fastball flies high again. Ball 1. And looking back on that play where Mike White held up Nick Meadows, but he ended up going through at third. Coach White was wheeling around up until Meadows got kind of close to third base as that fastball goes on the outside corner for strike 1. Meadows had already made the mental decision, it seems, to round third and go home. And he was able to be called out in a 9-4-2 relay to home plate. 1-1. It's high. So it almost looked a little understandable why the freshman got thrown out at home. But Coach White did tell him to stop, and Meadows just did not hold up because he was beat by about 5 seconds. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Over at first, Dalton Pruitt. 4-4 the score, all tied up. Got the scoreboard right for you now. 2-2. Fastball high, ball 3. So Tennant trying to work his way back into the zone. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Runner at first. Sophomore from Ringgold, Georgia. Payoff. Swung on, grounded over towards first, bobbled by Torres, and he will race to the bag and win. But a productive out nonetheless that moves Pruitt over to second, and Carver is out. So Torres playing at first base, able to bat it down, and now there are 2 gone, but a runner in scoring position for Luke Shepard. He's 0 for 2 today, hit into a fielder's choice his last time and flew out in the first inning. Shepard at 6'3", 250. Now the sophomore looking at the second base bag. Lead there in the pitch. Fastball grooved outside, ball 1. One ball, no strikes, and a runner at second base. Pitch. Fastball that time right across the knees. Got it 1-1. Well, the entire Bluefield dugout in the shade. Some of these Johnson University guys maybe getting some sun on the third base end as the sun continues to set. Kind of a glare through our plexiglass windows now. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Healthy cut from Shepard, and Tennant is just a strike away from getting out of this fifth inning. Tied up at 4-4 again. Much of the game right before this was tied. Headed into the bottom of the sixth before Jordan Jackson brought in Jose Perez on an RBI single to left field. That game ended 2-1. Now the 1-2. Fastball across the letters, and Tennant rings him up on a strike 3 call. So no runs on no hits, no errors, and Pruitt left at second base. Now to the bottom of the fifth. Tied up 4-4 between Bluefield College and Johnson University. Josh McGee leading off for Bluefield in a tied game. It's 4-4, headed to the bottom of the fifth. Max McCoy rocks and offers. It's a high fastball, and McCoy looks like he might be losing some of his zip. Heading into his fifth inning of work and going up against the 3-4-5 for Bluefield. All tied up, McGee due for a big hit. Pitch, fastball flying high and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Last inning, Bluefield put 2 more runs on the board after a 2 RBI single from Jose Perez with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Now the 2-0. Swung on, driven out to left field. Pruitt racing back and makes the catch with the heels at the warning track. McGee just didn't get enough on it, and now he falls to 1 for 3 in game 2. Just a little bit more air, and Josh McGee might have had his 13th home run of the season. Now another chance for Marcus Espinal. Digs in on the right side of the dish. Bailey Angle here. We're glad to have you on the Rams Digital Sports Network. It's been a fun doubleheader, a competitive one. Pitch. Espinal takes a first pitch strike. A fastball right across the middle. McCoy looking like he might be losing a little bit of speed on those pitches as the lefty fires again. 0-1, a line drive, sprayed into right field. Another base hit for Marcus Espinal. He's 2 for 3. So Espinal could be the go-ahead run in the bottom of the fifth. Jordan Jackson had the game-winning RBI in game 1. Have to see if he can do something like that here. Jackson has been swinging so hard and making contact, but not a lot of length on some of these balls he's hit, but they have just exited the infield on a speed that's not comparable. Goes inside on the first pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. Senior from New Jersey has actually been compiling the record book for Bluefield College as part of a work-study program. The 1-0. Swung on and fouled away right behind the catcher. Ball and a strike with 1 out. Some cars just creeping behind the right field wall in City Park. Beautiful day in Bluefield, Virginia. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Espinal at first. 4-4 the score. The pitch. Jackson watches it drop low and again. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Rams really haven't flirted with stealing many bags today. If Espinal wants to do that. 2-1. Jackson takes outside. That's ball 3. And McCoy winced after that. He thought he spotted the fastball well. 3 balls, 1 strike. Still all tied up at 4-4. Johnson University trying to hold on and possibly put it in their own hands going into the 6th. That pitch is swung on and driven into center field. Another base hit for Jackson. Ball is relayed in to Riley Cooper, and there are 2 aboard with 1 out. Jackson with his first hit of game 2. He's now 1 for 3, and now Jordan Ackerman standing at 1 for 2 will try to drive in some of his teammates. McCoy has already been talked through 1 mound visit today, and now we'll have to see if head coach Ben Fair for Johnson University will try to change anything. No signs of that yet. We do have some arms warming up in the bullpen on the left side. Speaking of left sides, here's the lefty, the pitch. Ackerman watching a fastball high. Many of our listeners have Netflix. Ackerman growing up not too far from the setting of the documentary by Mark Duplass, Wild Wild Country. The 1-0. So fastball goes high and away again. 2 balls, no strikes. That was about a Colt out in Oregon in the mid-1980s. And Ackerman coming from John Day, Oregon. 2-0. Inside. Very interesting. Have to recommend it. Check it out. But Ackerman actually said where that Colt was positioned. Now, spoiler alert, they're not there anymore. There's a Young Life camp where he actually went in high school. 3-0 is high, and he'll walk over to first base. So Jackson to second, Ackerman to first, reaching for the second time today. And for the bases loaded for Bluefield for the second time in this game, Max McCoy just grinding that dirt on his orange cleats. And a big spot for the Rams. 1 out, bases loaded. 4-4 the score. They have 10 hits in game 2. Waving the bat around. Torres is ready. Reached twice today. 1 for 1 and a run scored after being hit by a pitch. Fastball flares high and outside. Rams looking for a clutch hit in game 2. A little bit of wind blowing out towards left. The 1-0. Another fastball moving high and away. 2 balls and no strikes. And you're starting to see the frustration pile up on McCoy. Lefty working from the stretch with the bases juiced. Starts the motion. 2-0. Another high and away fastball, ball 3, and McCoy is a ball away from walking in the go-ahead run. Espinal at third, Jackson at second, and Ackerman completes at first. 3-0. Inside and low, ball 4, and the Rams have taken the lead after McCoy walks in Espinal. Jackson to third, Ackerman to second, and Torres on with another walk, and that will be it for McCoy. So after going 4 1/3 innings, We have seen it all from the lefty, and it looks like Ben Fair will be replacing his starting pitcher. So that'll be it for McCoy. No final line on him yet, as Ackerman and Torres will still be charged to him, as well as possibly Jordan Jackson. And a new man coming in. It looks like it will be number 7, Thomas Williams, the sophomore from Colorado Springs. We're going to tell you more about him when we come back. Bases loaded, Rams lead 5-4 in the bottom of the 5th inning. So after McCoy walks home the go-ahead run from third base, bases are still loaded 5-4, and Thomas Williams steps up to the mound. The right-handed pitcher with a 2.35 ERA facing off against the freshman Nick Meadows. Pitch, Meadows, the check swing goes outside, it's ball 1. Just one out, Josh McGee flew out to left field. After that, Espinal reached on a single, Jackson did the same, Ackerman with a walk, and then Torres with a walk as well. Torres will get the RBI on the base on balls. The 0-1. Skips in the dirt and rolls down the third baseline. Williams, this is just his 5th appearance on the year. He's only pitched 7 2/3, giving up 9 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. He has 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. Only allowed 1 base hit in that span. Or 1 extra base hit, I should say. It was a double. The 1-1. In the dirt, gets behind Burke, but he just stomps it right into the dirt after he found it there. So Jackson replaced by Wood over at third base. As the courtesy runner, Ackerman at second. So the Rams going for a possible sweep of the doubleheader. 2-1 to Meadows. Swung on, popped up, left side, foul territory. Viscardis racing back, and it'll creep out of the ballpark. Count it 2-1. Meadows can break the game open here. Rams already have 3 errors. This would be a steal of a win if they're able to get it. 2-2. Swung on, lifted in the air to right. Howard steps up, makes the catch. Wood will tag, laser throw to home. It's wide right, and Wood slides in. So a sacrifice fly for Nick Meadows makes the score 6-4. So the Rams with a 2-run lead now. That was a great throw from Howard, though. He had the gun to get it there. Meanwhile, Ackerman moves to third, and Torres stays at first base. Runners on the corners. Here comes Jesus Roldan. 6-4 now the score. And now Thomas Williams looks around. The pitch. Roldan fouls it off the mask of Chase Burt. That probably stung a little bit. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Happy to have you here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Game got started about 20 minutes earlier than we expected. Thought this game would start at 5 o'clock. But because of the speed of Game 1, we were able to roll through into Game 2. No balls and 1 strike. Roldan 0 for 1 with the strikeout swinging. Kick and the delivery. He limbos back on a high fastball and makes it 1-1. Rams scored 2 in the first, then 2 more in the fourth, and once again with 2 runs in the 5th inning. Pitch. Roldan watches the breaking ball drop low, and then now the count is at 3 balls and 1 strike. Williams with the pitch. Inside, and there's ball 3. Roldan just gets a piece of it on that hefty swing and loads up the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count, 2 outs. Williams heating up his right hand. Now the righty steps off. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, 6-4 Rams lead. The pitch. In the dirt, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Right back to the top of the lineup, and Bailey Castro has another chance to try to knock in some runs with the bases loaded. There was 1 out for him back in the 4th inning when he popped up to Pruitt in left field. Rams could break it open, bottom of the 5th. Dennett likely to come on to pitch again for the Rams. Pitch to Castro. He fouls it off his foot, and that hurt. Able to fight through it, dusts off those blue cleats, and goes back on the right side of the plate. No balls, 1 strike. Ackerman over at 3rd, Torres at 2nd. He will be the last run attributed to the starting pitcher in McCoy if he comes in to score. The 0-1. Castro watches the changeup go across the Rams' letters, strike 2. So the shortstop is down to his final strike. He's 1 for 3, scored a run in the 1st inning. Led the game off for Bluefield with his single. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The 0-2. Swung on, poked down the left field line, and that is just foul, about 5 feet to the left of the line. Threw the bat out there to battle. Rams still looking for a sweep. And a way to pump up their record to possibly 19-12. Another 0-2. In the dirt, Burke traps. Ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. 6-4 Rams lead. They went into this inning tied up. They've been fighting through. The tenacity is there for Bluefield, at least today. 1-2. Castro with a line drive down the left field line, and it's just foul. It's hard in our press box to try to find these balls hit, especially on the left side. Because not only are you looking at if the batter swings and hits, but you have to change the trajectory and try to spot the ball on the left side. After that, the 1-2. Castro swings and hits it into left field, a base hit. Ackerman scores. Torres sprinting home. He will come in as well, and it's 8-4 Rams. 2 RBIs on the single from Bailey Castro as he pushes Roldan to second base, and that's just what the doctor ordered for Bluefield. And it looks like there could be another pitching change here. Thomas Williams comes in. Just gets 1 out after the sacrifice fly from Nick Meadows, and the Rams lead this one by 4 runs. Biggest inning of the day by either team. And it looks like Ben Fair will call into the bullpen again and take out Tyler Lopes. We're going to let the righty warm up, and we'll be right back. It's 8-4 still in the bottom of the fifth with 2 outs. Rams lead by 4. Well, Tyler Lopes comes in to pitch for Johnson University. 2 runners on for Bluefield as they lead 8-4, really breaking it open in the 5th inning. Here's Jose Perez, who swings and lifts it out to deep left center. Pruitt trots back, and Lopes, all he has to do is come in with 1 pitch. Well, he's pointing to the sky. That seems to be a tad bit overdoing it, but still. Rams score 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th, and they lead 8-4. Big inning for Bluefield in the 5th, and now they head to the 6th with an 8-4 lead, starting with the top of the lineup in Johnson University. Viscardis with a swing and a foul tip caught by Jackson as Peyton Tennant enters his 2nd inning of work. Dennett, the lefty, deals a fastball scraping of the dirt, gets past Vizcarras, as well as Jackson. Vizcarras is 0 for 3 in Game 2. Rams with a huge inning in the bottom of the 5th. They scored 4 runs, and Johnson University had to use 3 pitchers, McCoy, Thomas Williams, and Tyler Lopes, who only pitched 1. 1-1. Another low one. Ball and a strike. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Well, Vizcarras has kind of perplexed some of us today with that slap motion. Almost just no lower body at all. Just throws the bat out there, but the contact is there. And an even count at 2-2. The pitch. Swing, and there it is. The contact again as it rolls through into center field. Vizcarras leading off with a base hit. Johnson University has a long hill to climb now as Bluefield leads 8-4. And they're just in the penultimate inning. Here's Riley Cooper, 0 for 2. Walked and scored a run in the first inning, part of a 3-run top of the first for the Royals. Espinal steps up even with the bag at third base. Cooper has played so well at shortstop today. Pitch. Shows bunt. Lays it down. Third base side. Espinal fields. Rockets to first. In time, and the out is recorded. Vizcarras over to second. Sacrifice there. I'll bring up Chase White. He's reached in every plate appearance. 2 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Got all the way to third in the 4th inning and was held there after Brooks struck out Chase Burke and got Caleb Lee to ground out to third base. Rams with 11 hits, 7 hits for the Royals. Rams also with 3 errors and somehow still winning this game. Lefty to lefty, Tennant with a low kick and the pitch. Right down the middle, fastball, strike 1. Then Tennant's delivery, Trey Brooks was a little bit different. Tennant has a slow kick of his right foot and then deals in. Vizcarras leading off at second. Spin and a pump fake. Nobody was there, and he threw it into center field anyway. Thought he kept that in his hand, but Tennant just swung the ball into center field. It was a hopping throw to Ackerman, and nobody was there to cover for Bailey Castro. And that's the 4th error of the day. Rams still lead by 4. Vizcarras moves to third. No balls and 1 strike with 1 out. So Bluefield still has the opportunity to give up plays like that after the inning, but still, as White serves it out into center field, a base hit. Vizcarras will score. White chasing around first. He'll go back, and it's an RBI single. Now Johnson University back within 3 now. It's 8-5. Just 1 out, and here's Chase Burke. Burke's gone down looking twice today, both times against Trey Brooks. Now Tennant has allowed 2 hits. Burke also singled and scored a run in the first. 0-1. Fastball high, but called a strike, 0-1. And remember, for Brooks, he had 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 runs, and none of them were earned. He had 3 strikeouts. The 0-1. Swung on, hit on the ground, over towards short, gets through Castro and into center field. White sprinting to third. Ackerman has no throw, and now there are runners on the corners. And they're going to call that an E6 on Castro. 5 errors on the day. Burke got on with a single, and now a courtesy runner in. It will be Dustin Goodwin to run for the big catcher. Now Caleb Lee potentially could tie the game with a swing of the bat. 8-5 the score. Bluefield sure could use a double play. We're in the top of the 6th, just playing a 7-inning game. Pitch to the righty. And the second baseman swings and misses. Strike 1. Lee's 0 for 3, so certainly due. Last time he came up, nearly got on with that Errant throw by Marcus Espinal, but the tag was laid down by Torres when he came down, the 0-1. Swung on and lace foul right side out of play. Strike 2. Rams lead by 3. A run has already scored here in the 6th. 1 out after the sacrifice bunt from Riley Cooper put Vizcartis to second base. Already 2 errors for the Rams in this inning. Now the 0-2. High and away, gets past Jackson. Here comes White. He won't have to slide, and it's 8-6. Rams only up by 2 now. Big one for Johnson University, scoring 2 runs here in the top of the 6th. And after that throwaway by Tennant, some snow just started to roll through here. Is metaphorically, of course, on a sunny day. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2. We get a foul tip going back. It's just all started going downhill from there is what I was trying to say by that. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Lee battling after the pass ball that allowed White to come in to score. Goodwin is at second base. Tennant coming set. Pitch. High and away, and Jackson had to jump out of his crouch. So Lee still could represent the potential tying run. Rams will have to bat at least 1 more time. Trying to not let this one slip through the cracks. Going for the doubleheader sweep. Tennant checking second. 2-2. Scraped outside again. Ball 3. We haven't seen a mound visit for Bluefield at all today. It's been a good day pitching-wise. Saw Edgar Reyes really blow the brakes off of this Johnson University team in Game 1. And then after that, Trey Brooks struggled just a tad bit as the payoff falls outside. Ball 4. Boy, that was close. Lee goes to first with a walk. And that will send Jonathan Howard to the plate. Howard's 6'5" frame and all could be the go-ahead run. Just 1 out. Rams, like you said earlier, could use a big double play here. The pitch from Tennant. Fastball inside, ball 1. So the only out has been the sacrifice off of the bunt from Riley Cooper. 1-0. Inside and low. Rams still dealing with those errors. There's 2 in this inning. As well as the pass ball from Jordan Jackson. 2-0 the count. Now the pitch. Swinging a foul ball, ricocheting off the back of Howard. Counted 2-1, and this game has really hit a standstill. Howard waving the bat around. He's ready. 2 men on with 1 out. 2-1. Inside missing. Ball 3. Another fastball, and Tennant is starting to sweat out there. Allows Howard to get on. We might see a mound visit. 3 balls, 1 strike. 1 out. Pitch. Swinging a rip towards short. Castro tosses to Perez, trying to turn 2, and they do. 6-4-3 double play, and maybe the perfect time to have one. Howard taken down, and now Bluefield will head into the bottom of the 6th, leading 8-6. 8-6 Rams, bottom of the 6th inning. McGee will lead it off again, and Tyler Lopes aims to pitch his pitch of the afternoon. 21.69 ERA. But in the top of the 6th, 2 more runs came across for Johnson U. The 0-1. Swung on, line drive, left field. Pruitt just backpedals and makes the catch. Well, Johnson University definitely did their homework, especially with guys like Josh McGee. That ball was hit so deep, and Pruitt just didn't have to move much at all. So a blooper is a base hit, maybe an extra base hit, especially in left field. They know the ball carries, and the Rams are one of the better offensive teams in the entire country. Here comes Espinal. Espinal 2 for 3. And the third baseman takes an outside corner strike. So both outs recorded since Lopes has been in have been lifted out to left field. Now the 0-1. Bouncing in the dirt on the right side. There's ball 1, evens the count at 1-1. So Johnson U coming off of his series win against Alice Lloyd. They won 3 of 4 games. Now come to Bluefield with a chance to try to even up this doubleheader. The 1-1. Swung on, hard hit ball down the third baseline. That's fair. Espinal will round first going into second. It's going to be a play there, and he'll go back. So he had a hard round, got about a quarter of the way through the baseline, and Espinal is the first base hit on Tyler Lopes in the bottom of the 6th inning. Rams still lead by 2. It's 8-6, and Jordan Jackson will try to knock in his third baseman. Jackson with a single and a run scored in the 5th. The run, of course, scored on the behalf of Caleb Wood, who's the courtesy runner for the catcher. Lopes with a pitch. Well, that just floated right across the plate. Jackson took for strike 1. And Lopes barely lifts that left foot off of the ground when he decides to pitch. The pitch swung on and just tapped away foul third base side. Got a lot of energy on the mound, the freshman from Fort Myers, Florida. No balls, 2 strikes. This one out, 8-6 the score. Jordan Jackson up at the plate, up in the box on the right side. Through his beard, Lopes from the belt. The pitch. In the dirt again. Espinal will stay at first base as Burke did a good job to keep it in front. Rams looking for their possible 9th win at Bowen Field. They're 8-1 in the 2 Virginias. Struggle a little bit more on the road. The 1-2. Jackson swings and drives near left field and through the hole for a base hit. Past the dive of Viscardas, and Espinal moves to second base. A couple of singles in a row with 1 out. Rams trying to add on to this 8-6 lead in the bottom of the 6th. And Jordan Ackerman might be the guy to do that. He's 1 for 2 on the day. A couple of runs scored for the center fielder. Walked in 4 pitches by the starter in this one. That was McCoy. Righty to lefty matchup. Espinal at second, and over at first it is Caleb Wood. That pitch goes outside to the center fielder. Still hits the corner though, 0-1. Espinal clapping at second base. Rams looking for the best insurance plan possible going to the 7th and final inning. 0-1. Another pitch grooved on the outside corner, and Lopes is starting to feel a little bit confident now with the navy blue sleeves. Sun still setting on the first base end. No balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Pitch. Swung on and hit high in the air out to right field. Howard going back, and that is out of here. 3-run shot for Jordan Ackerman, his first of the year at Bowen Field. And now the Rams lead 11-6. So for Ackerman, another multi-hit game, and the young man from John Day, Oregon, puts Bluefield up by 5. And for Ackerman, make that home run number 5. And it looks like that might be it for Tyler Lopes. And it will be. A new pitcher coming in. Rams lead by 5 here in the bottom of the 6th. Freshman left-handed pitcher Andy Riley, coming from Woodstock, Georgia, will be now put onto the mound for Johnson U. It is 11-6. Bluefield looking confident as ever after the 3-run home run from Jordan Ackerman, his 5th of the year and his first here at home. Stepping up to the plate, Oscar Torres on the right-handed side. Just 1 out as he swings and misses at a pitch that rattles in the dirt. First home run of the day for either team. And Torres has reached in 3 straight plate appearances in Game 2. A single, hit by pitch, and a walk. He scored twice. Pitch. Riley skips in the dirt again. These have been some low ones from the lefty, and now we're starting to see where Ben Fair has to reach further and further into the bullpen. The 1-1. Torres grounds over towards third. Almost snagged on the backhand by Riley Cooper, but a single for Oscar Torres. That'll bring up Nick Meadows. Meadows reached on a bunt single in the 4th, had a sacrifice fly in the 5th. So if the score stays as it will now, Tennant will get the win for the Rams. Pitch. Inside, Meadows lets it roll, and it's ball and a strike. Torres stays at first with 1 out. And the loss will go to McCoy, who walked in the go-ahead run. That was Espinal back in the 5th inning when it was going to be 4-4. Rams scored 4 runs in that 5th inning, and then 3 more in the 6th. Swing and a miss right there, strike 1. On the season for Andy Riley, a 5.18 ERA. Has 4 appearances on the year. 24 1/3 innings pitched. 30 hits, 26 runs. As the pitch is grooved high, 2 balls and 1 strike. 26 runs, 14 earned, 19 walks, and 8 strikeouts. 2-1 from Riley. Inside. So with that big walk count, you can see that the command just isn't there quite yet for the lefty from Woodstock, Georgia. So Lopes came in, was able to get 2 outs, and then gave up 3 runs. Now the 3-1. In the dirt, ball 4, rolls away from Burke. Torres will sprint to second and round just by a few inches. And there's the first walk of the afternoon for Andy Riley. Now to the 9-hitter in the DH. It'll be Jesus Roldan, started out there by Bradley Martin. He struck out looking, and his only at-bat as a member of the varsity Bluefield College Rams. 11-6. Rams lead by 5. really two games that went into the later innings to be decided who the winner was. Rams won game one. That was a real pitcher's duel, 2-1. Pitch. Fastball across the letters, strike one. Count at 0-1. Just one out. Runners at second and first. Rolled on, lets it go inside again. A ball and a strike. And boy, Andy Riley's just got to get those fastballs up. Sun continuing to set on the first base side. Game one only took an hour and 10 minutes. We have already surpassed the 2-hour mark here. That pitch flies outside and high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Just in the bottom of the sixth, we'll have to see who the Rams send out in the 7th inning to get the game done. The pitch rolled on, grounds it over to short, gobbled up by Cooper, tossed to second there, throw to first, off target. It'll roll near the dugout. Espinal, or rather that's Torres, will come in to score, and it's 12-6. So Meadows off of the base paths on the 6-4. Roldan reaches first on the fielder's choice, and the error brings in a run. Rams leading by 6 now, and Bailey Castro will come up to the plate as the inning's 8th batter. So 2 outs. Castro with a 2 RBI single his last time up. Fastball flies high, ball 1. Pitch. Castro, line drive, left field, base hit. Rolled on to second, and Castro is on again. He was kind of quiet in game one. Rolled on over to second. Castro reaches first. 3 hits for him. And now, looks like that might be it for Andy Riley. Ben Fair comes to the mound, and we'll see another pitcher. Well, it's a bullpen exhibition for Johnson U, and that will bring up Sam Killian, senior from Knoxville, Tennessee. Going to let him warm up, and we're going to be right back. Long bottom of the 6th. Rams have scored 4 runs in the past 2 innings. They lead 12-6 over the Royals. Sam Killian, the senior from Knoxville, Tennessee, the right-handed pitcher with a 63 ERA. First pitch to Jose Perez goes outside. Just 2 appearances on the year, 1 innings pitch. 8 hits, 9 runs, 7 earned. He has 3 walks and a strikeout. 2 men on, Rams lead 12-6. So Jose Perez watches it go across his letters for the first strike. Count evens at 1-1. It has been a long couple of innings. Rams have scored 4 runs in each of the last 2 innings. As it loops outside, the righty, Sam Killian, kind of struggles to throw it in home. Kind of a lanky pitcher at 6'1", 150. Pitch. Swung on and drilled down the right field line. There's a base hit. Howard gobbles it up, going home, rolled on. Throw to home, cut off by Shepard. Sliding into second safely, Jose Perez. Now it's 13-6. So Castro over to third, Perez on to second. RBI single for Jose Perez, gets to second on the throw. And Roldan comes in to score. All but 2 outs. 7-run lead for the Rams, and here comes Josh McGee. Rams could possibly end it with the mercy rule if Josh McGee hits a home run. 13-6 the score. McGee, well, he's only 1 for 4. He's gotten close. And when he steps up to the plate, Pruitt out in left field plays about 5 feet from the warning track. 1-0. Right down across the knees. Evens the count at 1-1. Biggest inning of the game for the Rams. They've scored 5 now in the bottom of the 6th. Been an entire showing for Johnson Yu. That pitch is drilled. Outfield. That'll bounce. 6. And for Sam Killian, well, this seems to be kind of a struggle here. Here comes Marcus Espinal, 3 hits in game 2. 15-6 the score. Espinal watches it go down the middle. It's strike 1. He singled and scored a run back in the 6th inning. Pitch. Swung on, popped up. That was a high pitch. Out to center field. White will jog in, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. Rams put up a ton of runs there. 7 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Now just 3 outs away from the sweep as they lead 15-6. Rams really got away with this one. 15-6 they lead. Tyler Conklin on the mound as he slings a pitch just a bit outside to Dalton Pruitt. Rams scored 7 runs in the bottom of the 6th and then 4 right before that in the 5th, 2 in the 4th. So a 9-run lead. Conklin with a pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground over to Castro. Fielded on a hop. throw to first way high over the head of Torres, and that will go into the dugout and bounce out, so he will be awarded a free base. Now Pruitt goes to second on the E6. Not the best game for Bailey Castro as far as fielding goes. A few errors for him. 6 errors for the Rams as a whole and 3 on Bailey Castro. Luckily for Bluefield, he's been getting it done on the hitting end. He had 3 hits today. I'm going to bring up Trip Carver. Carver with a hit back in the 3rd inning. A bit of a tune-up doubleheader for Bluefield going into this weekend against Montreat. Quick pitch and a foul ball hit on the right side. Torres giving chase, and it will go out of here. Strike 1. Meanwhile, the line on Conklin coming in for Tennant. So far on the year, 7.20 ERA. Has 10 appearances, 15 innings pitched, 14 hits, 15 runs, 12 earned, 9 walks, and 13 strikeouts. The 0-1. Fastball high. Conklin looks like he has a decent fastball working. A big guy for the Rams. Well, he's standing on the mound at 6'6", 235, the freshman from Greenville, North Carolina. That's where ECU is. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Change up. Nasty there. Strike 2. Rams have 18 hits, so not only are they winning by 9, but they're out hitting the Royals by 10. Still 6 errors on the day. Another 1-2. Outside. Just missing 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Johnson University, barring some sort of incredible miracle here, will fall to 10-22, or 10-23 rather. And the Rams will get their 19th win on the season. 2-2. Just a bit outside, ball 3. NCCAA rankings came out today, and Bluefield is still in the top 10 right there at number 10, even after a tough weekend against Tennessee Wesleyan. Of course, not really what the Rams aim to get for. They're trying to go to NAIA, but still good with the NCCAA. 3-2 pitch outside corner, and Conklin has a strikeout. Carver goes down for out number 1. Pruitt stays at second base. 1 gone, and now here comes the 9-hitter in Luke Shepard. Well, the big righty on the mound. Bluefield has sent 3 pitchers towards the rubber in game 2. Brooks got the start, went 4 innings. Pitch, swinging a line drive, bouncing through into right field, a base hit. Getting to third, Pruitt, he'll stay there after the relay gets to Torres. So Shepard has his first single of game 2, and then we'll go to the top of the lineup with Chandler Vizcartis.
Third baseman, Chandler Vizcartis.
It's runners on the corners and 1 out. It was just 8-6 going into the bottom of the 6th. Pitch. Fouled back, strike 1. So Johnson University had a real chance of making this interesting if they were able to hold, but the bullpen was just not deep enough. Counted 0-1 with 1 out. Lopes gave up that home run to Jordan Ackerman, and that pretty much put the nails in the coffin. 0-1. Round ball toward short. Castro flips to second. Out there. Throw to first. Just eaten by Perez, and he couldn't turn 2 on that one. So now there's 2 outs. Shepard taken off. Vizcartis reaching on a fielder's choice, and that will send Riley Cooper up to the dish. 2 outs, 15-6 the score. Not the best base running from Pruitt. Especially when you're down by 9, you got to think that Jose Perez wasn't going to go home. Pitch. Just a bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes, and Ben Fair, it's just been that type of game too. Third base coach and the head coach. 1-0. Once again, high and outside, 2 balls, no strikes. 15-6. Good bounce back for Bluefield, playing up against an NCCAA school after getting swept in some dastardly games in Athens, Tennessee. That one's popped up on the left side. Jackson's going to watch it, and it hits our press box. Ball and a strike. Now some new game balls brought out by the assistant coach, Garrett Schilling. My name is Bailey Engel. It's been a pleasure to have you here for this doubleheader, for those of you who have stayed by the entire time, as well as those of you just bouncing in. Conklin with the ball in his right hand. 6'6" freshman. One of those pitchers that Mike White calls the puppies. The 1-1. Right down the middle and just outside. Jackson could have tried to frame that up. Now the scoreboard has jumped to a ball and 2 strikes. Well, Conklin looking in. 2 outs. Pitch. Swinging a ground ball, and the count will stay at 2 strikes. (15-6). And you have to look at game 1 as what really set the tone for the Bluefield pitching staff. Edgar Reyes came out with a great start. Pitch. Inside, gets past Jackson. Here comes Pruitt. He will score, no throw. Moving to second is Vizcartis. So now it's 15-7. This game really has slowed down, but Rams just an out away from the doubleheader sweep as the sun sets. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Cooper up to the plate on the right side. Pitch. Swung on and popped up foul, and that'll get out of here in a hurry. Well, Conklin not in a save opportunity, but for Bluefield, like we were talking about, the bullpen doing a good job with Tennant. So far with Conklin, really everything was a bullpen start. Brooks and Reyes getting their first starts today. The pitch swung on and popped up. This should do it. Middle of the infield, Perez camps out under it and makes the catch as Bluefield sweeps the doubleheader, winning game 2 by a score of 15-7. The win will go to Tennant and the loss to McCoy. And Bluefield improves to 19-12. Johnson University falls to 10-22. Rams will return home on Friday at 6 o'clock in a big AAC series against the Montreat Cavaliers. We're going to be there for you on the Rams Digital Sports Network. My name is Bailey Engel, reminding you the final score of Game 2. Rams able to come out with a sweep in Bluefield, winning this one 15-7. And until Friday, take it easy, Rams fans.